This is OzByDrone, and I'm Greg, and that's a black screen. That is where our co-host, Mr. John Morrison, would normally sit, but John's currently away. He's on a gig, playing with a band. There's a bunch of musicians and the drummer. But for whatever reason, our fill-in co-host, Angela from Lost Girl Hikes, disappeared. So we're going to have to send out a search party. We've got her currently coming in a few moments. So let's just do a few things. Oh, what do we got here? Malus Vex is coming back as well. It's all happening. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm Greg. This is OzByDrone. My producer's going to fix up all that stuff in the background. And in the meantime, welcome to the show. What's been happening? I'll tell you what we're going to do. While we fix all that stuff up in the background, we're going to play our first, not quite the news. This is too news for the news. It's a late breaking story that we literally got in last night. And I tell you what, my producer's still pressing buttons. Here we go. We've got Angela nearly there. Are you there? We've got Angela. Hello. Do we have audio? No?
I can hear.
Always the way.
Yeah, I can hear.
There we go. We've got her in the shot now. Welcome, Angela. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great tonight. How about you guys?
Oh, spectacular. Thanks for filling in for John. Appreciate it. I mean, I could have thrown Lloyd in there. I mean, he's always there as a comic relief, but I thought
That's what I'm saying. He might be more entertainment on the TV.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's better than a black screen, but anyway, only barely. Yeah. But let's move on. What I'm going to do while my producer's still doing other fix-ups, we're going to play our first news story in the background that's not quite a news story. It's too new to be new, and it's not that one that you've got queued up there. It's the one before that, the story 0, right up the very top. There we go. Here we go. Let's play this one. This is something that I found yesterday, and this relates to a company. It's an Australian company out of Queensland, and they've got a 2-seater quad, well, more than quad, multi-rotor, I should say, that you can go and fly in. And there's a guy in the Philippines that's been doing this. KXYZ is his channel name. And I spoke to the guy out of Queensland yesterday, and we're going to try and get either the Queensland guy or Kix on the show next week, hopefully. So that's going to be really, really cool. But in the meantime, there is their multi-rotor 2-passenger vehicle, and just thought we'd share that at the top of the show today. Would you ride in that one? Angela, what say you? What do you think? Is that something you'd feel safe in, or you don't know yet? You need to see more. We're not getting audio from you, Angela. What about you, Grumpy?
Yeah. Looks a little too homemade. There's some nicer looking ones out there I might ride in, but that one is just like, I mean, it's like a box under a...
There you go. You can see there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a gondola hanging from a bunch of...
There's nobody in that one, absolutely. And this is a test flight, so we have to acknowledge that it's a test flight only. They've got to get regulatory approval before they can have live passengers. But what do you think? What's your first impression, Ange? Would you ride in that? Oh no, she's frozen again. Oh, it's going to be one of those days.
Yes, it is. Thanks to Wirecraft.
Oh, well, it may not be Wirecast, you know. I'm willing to concede that there are other possibilities.
Zebmeat wants to know how many motors can fail before. Oops. You gotta admit, there are a lot of redundancies there.
Yeah. And the fact that the props are up above the vehicle makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. I mean, here's an interesting thought. That vehicle, when you look at it, and you compare it to the fishing drone video, you've got a chair suspended from a multi-rotor vehicle or a multi-rotor support frame. What's the difference between that and going fishing above a dam? Interesting thought.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
First off,
let's leave that video there for now, and we're
she
going to
says
have
her
them.
internet is giving her crap.
Oh no!
She just messaged me.
So for the moment, we'll throw you into that shot instead of Ange. Sorry to do it to you with absolutely no notice. We had the best of intention to mix it up and have a different co-host today, but like I said, you're marginally better than a black TV screen.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, moving right along. Let's have a look at our news for the day. And you know what I forgot to do earlier? I was
You forgot to advertise.
What did I forget to advertise?
AirData.
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do first. I'm going to load up Title Alive because I didn't load it. Because I'll share a quick story with everyone just out of interest. Title Alive, when I start it, the fans on my laptop that runs it start spinning at high speed, and I think it's almost getting ready for takeoff. So I leave turning it on to the last minute, but I was distracted.
A lot.
Yeah, something like that. I was a little bit distracted by something else today, so I'm going to turn it on right now by pressing that button, and then I'll press that button, and it will come up on the screen. There you go. OzByDrone News is brought to you by AirData UAV. Is your drone healthy? Or is it about to surprise you on your next flight? Don't wait to find out. Discover under the hood information and review the early signs of problems like Wirecast before you take off again. Use discount code OzByDrone20 and you will get a 20% discount. Of course, you can always get a free version of that software as well that you can also play with. In the meantime, let's get into our first news story, and I'm going to press that button. This one is for researchers are using drones to understand what birds can see when they look down. Why? Because biologists are interested in knowing how tidal disturbances caused by man-made ocean structures may affect the way that birds hunt for and gather food. The study was conducted in a tidal channel that is known as a foraging hotspot for seabirds called terns. Have you heard of terns?
Yeah, you go up to the corner and you turn either left or right.
Yeah, I heard you'd be very familiar with terns because as an old person, people very often have bad turns.
Yeah, I'm always taking a turn for the worse.
Yeah, anyway. But interesting, and I tell you what else was coming to mind while I was looking at this clip, and you see some of that data on the sea there, is do they actually use their visual sight of the ocean to understand the air and wind currents in and around them to help them in terms of maintaining flight? It's like a visual wind map above the water, perhaps. I don't know the answer to the question, but an interesting thought nonetheless.
Makes sense.
So I know Angela did have a comment that she was going to share with this one that she typed to me in Discord earlier on. And she was saying, so if they get seasick flying over the water, you could say they would be feeling under the feather.
Really?
Boo!
Okay, enough of that. Moving right along, our second story of the day, we have, speaking of birds, Parrot is obviously a manufacturer of drone equipment. Was that a good segue? Parrot has struck a deal.
I was actually thinking about that, yeah.
Yeah, Parrot has struck a deal with Rapid Imaging, and I'll press that button there, to equip its drone videos with geospatial augmented reality. Think of it as Google Maps features being transposed on aerial video displays, allowing specific locations to be pinned or geocoded in real time in many applications and government sectors. I like that idea. I mean, certainly the commercial world, if you're doing some flying for a commercial survey job or something like that, being able to improve your situational awareness is always going to help safety.
You know, not taken away from the software, but why do you have to pay a subscription? Because I got Google Maps on my, on my phone for free. If I want to, I just look at Google Maps and pinpoint that, and I know where it's at. I don't have to.
And that's fine. So, when you look at your existing DJI or equivalent brand, you can already see maps over there, but overlaying it with the image and seeing both together, I think certainly helps, especially if you are going to look towards hypothetically using some sort of goggles or something like that to be able to overlay that information. That's definitely a bonus.
That is true. Yeah, I could see where that would be beneficial.
Yeah, we'll move from that one and we move on to a topic very near and dear to one of our friends' heart. We're going to talk about cookies, or as we would call it in Australia, bickies. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a drone delivering Girl Scout cookies. The Virginia Skyline Girl Scout Troop has teamed up with Wing, a commercial drone delivery company, to distribute boxes of the famous cookies to local cookie cravers.
Biggest challenge for selling cookies this year is the booths. You can, like, a lot of places don't want you to open up a booth because they have all the restrictions. So we had to come up with different ideas and how to sell the cookies. This is an amazing idea, to have the cookies delivered right to your door.
It's right there. That's so cool. There it is. Yeah, that's so cool.
The only thing that worries me about that,
we are the first council to deliver cookies.
I can imagine a certain Sesame Street blue-coloured monster under the flight path. And, we've often talked about people, the dangers of delivering things by drone. I'm just waiting for him to be under the flight path, and the next thing you know... Oh, cookies!
It's going to help change our world, and Girl Scouts will help that, so drones are going to be a very awesome way to do that.
I guess in the time of COVID, that's a good way. It's all for the girls to help them raise money. Even if that whole drone delivery thing is going to die like a pet rock. But what do I know?
Yeah, look, it's if you have a look at drone delivery services overall, cookies is a good use case, and I mean that in all seriousness, because the payload is light. It's low value, so people are not really going to go and shoot it out of the sky to get the payload. I think it's got wings, pardon the pun. So let's go from that to our next story, and this next story is a little too hot. Imagine listening to Bon Jovi singing Blaze of Glory while watching this clip. Bjorn, how do you say Bjorn? It's Bjorn Steinbeck. Bjorn. He's been filming the volcanic eruptions in Iceland for weeks. In a ceremonious and completely... Have I got the wrong one? Yeah, it's come back. Everything is going bad today. Okay, let's rewind. Pause. If I had some RAS, I would turn on the RAS here, but I don't have it. We'll go back to 1.04. That was totally my mistake. I skipped a story, and my producer was playing the right video, so let's try that again. So, at level A4, or 4A autonomy, Exxon drones are now capable of free flight exploration of complex spaces with a complete determination of flight path. No need to plot a waypoint mission. No need to put in any program points at all. It just does it all. In I've gone off a couple of times. It's buffering. So maybe it's not.
It might not be Angela as much as it is NBN. No Bloody Network.
Yeah, thank you, Australian government, NBN. Back to this story. In ideal conditions, it is possible to cover 16 million cubic metres in a single flight, or the equivalent of 9 football stadiums. Using the technology, the drones are completely self-reliant for open-ended exploration and do not require any human interaction during the flight. So, to be very, very clear, there is no pilot in command waiting to take over for this particular technology, according to the marketing blurb. Excellent. What do you think of that? How is that scary, or do you think we'll get to the point where we don't need a pilot? I mean, the regulators are going to say they require it for now.
Yeah. You know, I heard this same thing said last night, and that's, I don't want to trust a vehicle to just drive me everywhere, and and same goes with that. It's really simple. Technology screws up real easy. It just takes a wrong little thing, wrong little line of code, and it can screw up. And who knows what, so there needs to be a human being, although human error is usually the factor that's involved in most crashes. So maybe it is a good deal.
Yeah. Look, I think it's going to certainly help with some commercial applications, but I think there'd need to be some human-entered geofencing around what it's going to do to at least keep a boundary around what it's doing for safety reasons. But the rest of that, it's possible. Supposedly the technology is able to identify people, humans, and other hazards as a regular drone pilot would. But, we'll have to keep an eye on that one and see where that goes. We've got one more quick little news story in 2 parts before we get into Malus Vex. And the beginning of this one, it's a little too hot. Let's try this again. Imagine listening to Bon Jovi singing Blaze of Glory while watching this. And that's where the video footage ends, although you can still hear in the background the faint audio from the clip. But we'll stop it there. But let's move to...
I wonder if...
Let's just move to this one for a minute. No. Well, good question. Good question. This one, watch it one more time. So that one there is our second clip of volcano interaction. This one is Daniel Horstman. He recently joined in the crowds enjoying the incredible volcanic eruption in Iceland and captured it using a mixture of his DJI FPV, Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic Air 2. During this sequence, his FPV is struck by a flying piece of lava, sending it tumbling through the air. So interesting to look at.
Struck by a flying piece of lava.
That was
I think it's the screen.
Shouldn't be me. I don't have any, other than you're getting a feedback, probably because Angela's watching the feed.
Okay, let's just see how we go. So Angela's come back in. Let's put Angela on the screen. Oh my goodness, this is absolute cluster. Just don't press it anymore, baby. Let's just see what happens. See if it recovers. Okay. Currently,
you guys are lagging on me too. So
it says red and the stream is down. Let's just give it 10 seconds and see if it comes back up. Yeah, you're the only thing that's new here, so it must be your fault.
No, it's not her fault. They've been griping about it was buffering for the last 10 minutes.
Oh, and she wasn't there before. Yeah, okay. So not Angela's fault. Okay. So let's get back to the clip we just watched. You were saying, Lloyd?
What? Oh, I forgot what I was saying.
Oh, DJI Care Refresh.
Seconds. Oh, yeah, DJI Care Refresh. I wonder if it would be covered, under that,
Well, I can comment that if DJI Care Refresh covers your drone for accidental water immersion, I don't see that it would exclude lava.
Yeah. Lava.
liquid.
Why not? It's liquid. Yeah.
Why
exactly.
not?
I know
liquid,
why
hot
it's not
liquid.
covered. I know why it's not covered. DJI Care
Why?
Refresh, you have to get the existing drone back to them, even in a non-working state, as part of the contract.
Oh, there you go.
Makes sense.
Okay. Look, we're having a lot of fun with the show today. Things are not exactly going to plan, but that's okay. We will soldier on. So let's move on, and we're going to go to our guest at this point. It's time to bring in our guest, Mr. Malus Vex. How you doing, Malus?
Pretty good, mate. How's everyone else?
Oh, I'm just having a great time today. And there it's buffering again. Oh.
It's Alice's fault.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Malus, what have you been up to? You've been to Canberra.
Yes, I recently went there and did a bit of flying, and I mainly went there to help someone move, but, you know, took the FPV gear with me. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is your first time taking the FPV gear into the big smoke, or have you taken it to other largely populated areas before?
I took it to Sydney before, but I couldn't find a safe area. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of your clip up here. So talk us through what we're seeing, and we'll just play the intro first because you've got your usual rowdy intro. Let's just play it. Now, for a number of reasons, I'm just going to fade the audio.
I was driving around Canberra for about an hour and a half trying to find, for me, a safe place to fly. And this building was the safest that I'd found. There was no cars in the parking lot. There's no people around. And I started FPV was one of the main reasons that I started, you know, watching the American pilots dive buildings and stuff like that. Like, yeah, even watching them for years. So, yeah, I wanted to do my own. And, yeah, I reckon I stayed safe. I didn't even come close to hitting the building. And, yeah, it's just an all-out brilliant day.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful flying. Now, tell me about the audio. Tell me about the audio. I'll just turn it. Yeah. Actually, let me turn it back up for a minute and let people hear it.
Hello, YouTube. Like, I just had a cruise around. Hello, YouTube. Look at this. I'm in Canberra. Look at this. I'm in Canberra.
I think that audio was awesome. I don't know what Greg is talking about. I think it's really fitting for FP.
Yeah, thanks.
So, tell me.
Yeah, that was pretty much a meme between me and my some buddies. One of them was trying to watch one of my other clips from the Canberra trip, and the audio and picture was all stuffing up. And he said someone should remix this, like because he recorded what he was hearing and seeing. And then my friend Stu decided to remix my voice into a song.
So this was Stu from UAV Futures, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It was interesting. So, yeah, tell me, so where else did you fly in Canberra? What was the reason for the trip?
The main reason was just to help a friend move. I went down, help her pack her house up for removalists to load it all up, and because she was moving back here to Dubbo.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought, take the flight gear with me. When I've got an hour or half an hour spare, go for a quick walk and try and find somewhere to fly. Yeah, there was some great spots. I found abandoned building, little complex, just 2-story houses around. I also found a park, a beautiful park with canals running through it. yeah, it's just I'd never really been to Canberra either. Like I went there when I was a kid, but I couldn't remember much. It is a beautiful city. Like it's so well designed and laid out, and
it drives you around the bend a little bit, going around in circles all the time. But other than that, Canberra is a lovely city. Let me ask you a question now. First comment is this video that we just looked at. Officially, you were maintaining line of sight at all times. Having said that, unofficially, what is the answer to legal FPV flying in Australia? Do you think, where are we going to end up with that?
The way CASA's going, it's pushing us underground.
Yeah.
I can't afford $400 to apply to fly in one area. Like that's ridiculous. I'm pretty much a stay-at-home dad. I don't earn any money from my YouTube besides if people want to donate or something like that. Or I do have a Patreon, but as you'll see, I've got it all public. I make $5 a month.
It's not about the money. It's about the hobby. It's about the passion. It's about the sport. I get it.
I'm more, I just love flying. Like I really want to go out and fly. And the rules that CASA is putting on us, it's just pushing all FPV pilots I know underground.
And one interesting thing on the topic of CASA and regulations, I don't know if you've heard this one. There's a guy from UAV Australia. We had him on as a guest a few weeks back. And I actually saw a video on his channel yesterday, I think. Have you heard of an IREX? No. Have you heard of that term before? IREX is an instrument rating certificate, which theoretically you can use if you've got a REOC and a license to do certain types of non-direct line of sight flying. And supposedly CASA have new regulations that were either in force as of today or announced. I don't know. Here's where I'm going. Do you think that they'll actually eventually see the light? And what do you think? What would you want? If you could say to CASA, what would I want?
I pretty much want to be able to fly. Like, I don't want to scare people or anything like that. So flying within 30 meters of anyone that doesn't know that you're flying that's fine for me. I believe in that. But not being able to fly in certain locations because of flight paths, for FPV users, that's ridiculous. We don't even fly up above the trees most of the time. As you've seen me with that building dive, and I went like 2 meters above the building at most. I agree that and regulated, like new pilots, especially FPV pilots, shouldn't go and fly at a park where there's a bunch of people and families walking around or anything like that. Like they're too new. I've been flying myself over 3 years now. Just FPV.
So let me just go back a second. So question number one, protected flight. If you're below a structure or tree line or something,
or mountain
or whatever, which is, a certain distance away, and let's just pick a 45-degree angle for the sake of simplicity. And if at that angle you're below that, you should be allowed to fly. Is that the first thing you would say?
Yes, especially because when pilots aren't allowed to fly within 400 meters of a mountain or something like that, without a lot of permission on their end. So why should we have to stick under, that point?
Yeah.
Okay. There's lots of little things that need to be changed with it. There was another pilot that was working with them to help change it and show what the rules were and that, but they end up just leading him on and not telling, pretty much not listen to anything he was saying. So I think he ended up giving up.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, just a quick little interjection. I just did some network diagnostics while we're chatting here. It's not the NBN. It's Telstra. My connection to the NBN
of course it is.
My connection to the NBN is up 100% rock solid. And then every second packet appears to be going between Chatswood and Kent Street. And it's just randomly in Sydney, and it's randomly flip-flopping between the two of them. So that's why we're having troubles today. Thank you, Telstra.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that aside, so number one would be protected flight underneath structures. Number two, if you're going to want to fly in something in a location where, let's say, there's no people, so you've other than people directly involved in the operation of the flight, etc. So do you need permission of the property owners, or what? Or alternatively, how do you manage and mitigate the risk to property?
Well, I reckon there needs to be some sort of insurance as well. Like there's a revenue that some insurance company, like say I was flying and I hit that building. It wouldn't break. Those buildings, like those glass is designed, it won't break. From what I've been told anyway, I've never hit one. But the glass won't break. You might damage it, but scratch it. Yeah. But if I had hit that or scratched it, I didn't have any money on me, but I would be willing to front the bill for a replacement, or at least some way of fixing it. But yeah, like I said, they need to do insurance for it. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean there is there obviously. I'm not trying to set you up here. I'm just having an open discussion. Yeah. So, for example, there is commercial drone insurance, and that's available. And, for example, John and all of the people who fly under John's REOC have both insurance for their aircraft and third-party property and injury damage. That's it's all included as part of that.
Yeah.
There is no...
Yeah, I don't think I'd be accepted, though, if I was like, I'm going to go and dive buildings here in a big city. Can I have some insurance just in case I hit anything? Piss off, mate.
Okay. Now, Ange?
Yep, still subscribe.
Cheers.
Okay, she's checking up on you. And everyone else who's watching here today, make sure you also subscribe to Vex. He does some really good FPV. Okay, so we've had a little chat about regs. I guess, let me go one step further. Would you accept a system of regulation which required you as a FPV recreational pilot to document your risk assessment and management procedures before you fly each time? Follow whatever your proposed risk management is.
I'd be happy with that, because I do the same sort of thing in my head before I fly anyway.
One step further than that. And if you do have incidents, you've got to report them. Or if a third party reports them before you do, you're in big shit, and you get, you know what I mean? Have something like that where it's acknowledged that this is going to happen, but you must have pre-documented, and I'm not talking about just doing it on your thing, actually uploading it to a regulator's website. Here's my risk assessment for my flight in Canberra today.
Yeah.
There it is. And if you've done that, and you have an accident, then you kind of like a regular airline would go and say, well, how do we improve safety?
Yeah. I'd be even happy with something like that. But yeah, just with the current regulations, you have to apply 40 days in advance. And it's $400. And they can say yes or no, or they'll ask for more information, which costs you more money. Or they will send a person out to the area and get them to have a look at the area and make sure it's safe, which costs you thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Like,
before anyone, I think it's time to, since we've got you here and we've got Grumpy over here, it's time to...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to play Stop the Yank.
Now, I didn't brief you on this, Malus, and that's my bad.
Happy to get things.
Yeah, so maybe that's good. The challenge is, Malus, you've got to stump. either or both of these yanks over.
Anything to do with beer works.
By the way, move over a little bit because you're not quite in the shot. There we go. Yeah. Anything you like.
You can do what I do. You can look it up online. I Google it all.
That's what I'm quickly doing that now.
You want me to send you the link where I get all mine from?
I got a joke real quick while he's looking it up.
Okay, what's your joke?
So I have a fear of speed bumps, but I'm slowly getting over it. Oh, come on, that was
good. Okay, what do we got? Have we got something Aussie slang?
All right. I wish you'd told me this earlier. I would have looked something decent up.
He does that to everybody.
Okay, let's do this one. I'll come up with one. All right. How can you use the word mate to say something other than someone who is your friend? There's a question for either of you.
Either of us? Oh.
Either way, I'll let the lady go first.
Okay.
I could say checkmate.
No.
No.
All I can think right now, all I'm thinking is what kangaroos do. But that's probably not the way you win.
No. So the correct answer is in it, and that's like saying you effing idiot or something like that. But anyway, there you go. There's a quick one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Vexy, you got one more?
Was thinking the same thing I was.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine was more, I don't know what you call it. Crap, I can't think of the name. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm getting stuck on words too.
What does the phrase dog's breakfast mean?
Oh, before we go and talk about the dog's breakfast, Wayne King, thank you for your super chat.
Well, it doesn't sound good.
Thank you, Wayne. Good show. It's not a good show today because everything that could possibly go wrong is, and you're probably just watching. Yeah. You're just probably watching to see.
Well, these suckers are heavy.
Yeah,
they do get heavy, don't they?
Yeah, especially sitting up on your head. You know.
Yeah.
They look cool though.
Anyway, Betsy, what was your question?
So dog's breakfast.
Yeah,
dog's breakfast.
What does a dog's breakfast mean? A saying.
Ange?
It doesn't sound good. Probably what somebody's wife made in the morning.
I'm thinking taking a crap.
Not quite, no.
It actually means a mess. Oh, this place is a mess.
This place is a dog's breakfast.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I totally thought it was somebody's wife's cooking.
Yeah. It is sort of crap. You know?
Well, my wife's cooking is
like
beautiful,
crap.
so I don't have that problem.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. I wanted to
just
look a good one up.
I just saw Thunderbird 6 made a comment there. Dog's breakfast. What Greg had this morning. Are you calling me a dog thief, Thunderbird?
What brand of kibbles?
I got another one for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's another one?
When someone says this is a rip snorter, what do they mean?
Oh, it means like. Well,
hang on, Angela first.
No, you got the sound effects. You got the sound effects.
No, that's well, that's a snorter. It means, like that's, snorter. It means, like that's, really awesome, really cool. Well, that's a rip snorter.
Do you want to
Right?
hear,
That's a long
out of
map.
interest, Thunderbird says it's farting in the Raz. Not quite. But here's the interesting thing. A Rip Snorter was actually the name of my first ever music, back in those days, cassette that I got when I got a cassette recorder, the first one I ever got. And that was the name of the cassette. There you go.
Okay. Crazy.
The Rip Snorter.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Sounds like
what's
a
the
heavy
official
metal.
what's the official definition that you've got there?
Yeah, what is it?
Someone playing a good game of sport. Or
okay,
something.
Really?
Yeah,
or
I
something
praise. Yeah,
that's
like that.
exceptionally good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that's really, really good.
Yeah.
Like that.
Lloyd had it. Lloyd had it.
Grumpy, you need more than that. Okay,
We're going to have
that'll do.
competing applause here.
For those who don't know, Ken Heron, as you know, is a man of many sound effects, and he's got a pretty decent soundboard. And I picked one of these up on eBay. It's only just got a few sounds loaded in on at the moment, but I'm starting to get into it. But anyway, look, Vexy, let's just say thank you for being with us today. It was awesome to have you as part of the show. Stick around in the chat, say hello to a few people. And I tell you what, at the end of the show, if you're still around, Grumps has been happy. We'll talk to you a little bit later.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Nice
now
to meet you.
let's move on to that, and we're going to move to this, and I've just got one word. It's tragic what we're about to look at, and certainly this is one way where drones can tell a story that couldn't be told any other way. With a rising death toll in a second wave of the coronavirus pandemic, authorities in India have been forced to hold mass cremations at makeshift sites. And just the fact that they're having to cremate people in mass sites like that is, I've got no words for it.
That's rough. It's hard to imagine, another country having to deal. I know we're having issues too with our crematories, but not to that extent.
But at least where you've got a hole in the ground dug up like that, it just shows you the scale and the magnitude of the tragedy that's happening there. So again, people do go and have a look at the links in the description for the video and have a look at the original stories for more information. But we'll leave that one there and go on to a second kind of subtopic of this one. In Chennai, and Chennai is an interesting place. I've been there myself. There's a drone as a service company, Garuda Aerospace, has been flying its drones spraying anti-coronavirus disinfectant. So we don't have any video for that, but again, it's good to see drones being used on both sides of the coin. First of all, having a look at the scale and magnitude of the problem, and also as a partial solution to the problem there. So very, very tragic, and there's nothing else we can say. It's just absolutely. I don't want to say it again, tragic, but it is. I don't have another word for it. Let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted now, and the game of I Spy with My Little Eye. Well, this is I Spy with My Little Drone. Someone has made a hidden object videos of Vancouver neighborhoods. Have you got time for a virtual scavenger hunt? So you'll see on the screen here, there are 3 hidden objects that they've got there, and your task is to locate them as you watch the video. Really cool. Just something different that you can do with some drone footage. But let's take this to the next level. Painting aircraft. That would be an interesting sport.
Yeah. I think they just need to, that'd be something fun to come up with too. Rent out the golf club.
But that after you've dropped that, then you have the scavenger hunt or vice versa.
That would be fun.
So we won't play the entire video there. I just wanted to show that little bit there, and people can go and click on the links in the description to go and find some more about that. Moving on from that, our next one, deliver up to multiple locations in one flight. Let's watch.
The Wingcopter 198 introduces an era of new opportunities for drone delivery, pushing flight performance and delivery capabilities beyond conventional limits. Every aspect is designed to optimize safety and reliability, efficiency of operations, and to provide maximum payload and range. The Wingcopter 198 requires no additional infrastructure for takeoff and landing. It withstands strong winds due to its patented tilt rotor technology. It is designed for full autonomous flying and deliveries. One operator can manage up to 10 Wingcopter 198 simultaneously and beyond visual line of sight. The utilization of delivery fleets can be easily managed by handing over flight missions in real time and in flight. Quick swap smart batteries maximize the time in the air. It can deliver up to 3 separate packages to as many locations during one single flight. The Wingcopter 198 is an advanced, efficient, and scalable delivery drone solution, enabling the future of instant delivery today.
So the question is, how much does it cost? And as that story was playing out there, I had a look online. They've got 2 models, Signature Edition and Experience Edition. I don't know what the difference between the two are. Let's have a look. It's only a deposit of €1,000. And the Wingcopter 198 Experience, €5,000. Oh, you pay €5,000 for an immersive 198 experience, including a product demonstration. Okay. Down payment is refundable and will be deducted from the purchase price, but they don't tell you how much the purchase price is. But look, an interesting aircraft. Can you see yourself getting one of those in the near future?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I thought it was pretty spiffy drone there, for being able to handle high winds, Here in Texas, it's like always 30 and 40-mile-an-hour winds, so.
It'd be nice if they told us what the price is, but I don't think anyone's going to be jumping at that one in the near future. Let's move on to our next story. Speaking of hovering, this one's about a hoverboard. We did look at one last week, and we are starting to see more videos of hoverboard-style aircraft appearing on YouTube and other places. The question is, one here, this is in Singapore, and as you can see, he's flying over water, which is good, so that's mitigating some risk. Happy days. I am assuming that this particular flight would have been authorized as part of a trial. Obviously it's been filmed and different. They do over there.
Oh, okay.
That's so cool though. I would ride that.
I would.
Until you hit a tree.
Yeah, it's like a broken hip waiting to happen.
It does look fun though. I ain't gonna lie.
Just bring that down a little bit. There we go.
Industrial section of Montreal.
And here's our third one.
You can find Alexandru Duru working away in his shop amongst the clutter and the dirty dishes and the list of things he's working on. But for the
hoverboard.
And it has conjured up comparisons with Michael J. Fox's ride in Back to the Future. From the first board with the propellers on top to control systems that got a little too hot.
This is flame?
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, hot foot.
But that was all it took. 1.5 minutes to shatter the old world record earlier this summer, flying for almost 300 meters, 5 times farther than the previous record. A flight watched by over 6.5 million people. Here we go. Here we go.
Now, this particular aircraft is more interesting than the others.
It's a clean lift from the shore.
It's actually a waterproof aircraft. He actually takes off in some cases and lands in the water. So this one here, he's had a crash.
Connect time. It's pure magic.
That'd be so fun.
The magic of flight that has captured our imagination since Orville and Wilbur Wright.
So all of these hoverboard clips, I do encourage you, go and check out the description. I keep saying it. Go to have a look at the original clips. There's more detail, there's more information, more video. That's like 30 minutes of video edited down to 3 or 4 minutes. So go and check out the rest. It's really cool. We have one more story left today, and it's been an interesting day. I see people are chatting in Discord because things are not working too well in YouTube.
Yeah, I think your video's on buffering again.
It's buffering again, yeah. Pia's going and pressing the disconnect, reconnect button every time it dies, and that's all we can do, unfortunately, until Telstra fix up their stuff. Let's go to the last story. Now, you've seen the bowling video. You've seen that before, both of you?
I am. What? Yeah, that was some piece of work.
Yeah. Well,
he didn't see it? Oh.
He's seen it. He's seen it.
The
same pilot.
I forgot.
Yeah, you remember the bowling alley? He flew through the bowling alley.
Oh, yeah, the bowling. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't have my hearing aid up quite loud enough.
Is this better? Well, FPV pilot extraordinaire Jay Christensen has done it again. We've all seen the bowling alley video and we agree it's awesome. But guess what? He's topped it with this shopping centre fly through. And after it, we've also got another clip that's absolutely amazing titled Twin Cities. Let's start with the shopping centre.
Those butterflies are awesome.
Now, as you can see, it's not heavily populated at the time that they flew through here. So this is a 100% staged and coordinated flight. And certainly in the daytime, you wouldn't normally have people rollerblading through a shopping centre.
Oh, they're playing rollerblade hockey.
Yeah, I know.
Another broken hip.
Yep.
At my age, I worry about stuff like that.
It's just crazy how he times everything so perfectly.
Yeah, this is great footage.
I mean, this is like a movie.
I'm going to stop it early because I don't want to show the entire clip. I want you to go and check out the original clip on there, right? Go to the original. This one is another clip by the same guy. So, again, I don't want to play the entire clip here. I want you to go and check it out on their channels. But the music and everything else about this is incredible, making a contrast between different parts of the world and telling a story.
That's what we all wish to do with our videos.
Yeah.
And he's doing it perfectly.
Yeah. So let's leave that one there and encourage you to go and watch it and say thank you for all of our people participating in the show today, for Malus Vex, for Ange from Lost Girl Hikes, from Grumps in the background. But let's do this. This is another postcard from Trevor. He sent it in this week. It's my intent to go and scan these and have them available for you, but this one's from Whyalla. So thank you for that, Trevor Fuss. Appreciate it. I'm encouraging everyone to send in postcards from different parts of the world because You know, sending big things is difficult, especially if you're not in Australia. Postcard, very cheap. So if you do want to send something in, here is an address to send it to, 5/127 Princess Highways. Inboxes don't fit really big files in them, funnily enough. And lastly, do follow us on social media, either on Facebook, Twitter. Well, I've got to remove the Twitter one because Twitter's no longer doing video. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but they've turned it off. It's still technically available, but you've got to be like a super.
Yeah.
I think
send the help you need.
I think with jokes like that, I need to duck for cover. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun as always, but today has been a technically challenging show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of it. Lloyd, what do you got for your last words today?
Not much, except wire crash sucks, and so does Betaflight.
Yeah, Ange, what do you got for us?
Well, thanks for letting me substitute in for John. Sorry he couldn't make it to your show tonight, and
oh, you're better.
I just hope everybody stop it. I just hope everybody has a good night and enjoys the rest of the day.
Okay, for watching. Thanks. So it's time to shut down the computer and say, see you next time. Bye-bye for now.